Welcome back. It's Jack. Day 4. Learning from old Rudy videos, seeing if we can apply anything from 2019 to 2026. Let's do it.
So that's where we're going to start here. Obviously, during the Pokemon Go era, all this new Pokemon resurgence, obviously Pokemon Evolutions, when that set came out, there's some boxes somewhere, whatever, we'll get to that in a minute. There was a huge influx of players back into Pokemon, and things had really moved up in the old Poke de la Mom world.
Starting with everyone's favorite, demand. It was high back then because of Pokemon Go. Everyone played Pokemon Go. Everyone remembered Pokemon Go. Everyone was out walking, Team Valor. Everyone knew that Pokemon was the it thing. And I think I was watching a live stream recently. I think it was DJ's Poke Center. Shout out DJ. And he had pulled up the Google Analytics trends and just typed in the word Pokemon. And you saw the Pokemon Go, increase. But now that we have a little bit more time to put into that same equation, it was not compared. It was maybe half of what the 2022, 2023, 2024 levels of demand that was being searched based on this Google Analytic trend. So Rudy's talking about the insane amounts of demand that he saw back then, and I'm saying it was nothing compared to what we ended up seeing because of the COVID boom the last time we were in a bull boom market. So let's just keep that in the back of our head as we progress here.
They did a massive reprint for the first time ever. They said it was out of print, and they lied. They went back on their statement. They did a massive reprint, and here we go. So when that happened, the $300 box of Roaring Skies tanked all the way down to a low of $65 a box.
Oh yes, reprints, baby. Everyone's favorite word. Whether they matter, don't matter, should they matter, how they matter. Again, it goes back to what we've been talking about of things that are not in your control. The Pokemon Company, as Rudy just said, went back on their word. They said it was out of print. Never going to print it again. What happened? They reprinted the shit out of it. Boxes price fell, supply came to the market. This is when they have the big demand. We have massive demand right now. No one's saying reprints are even possible. They're not coming. Only the ancillary products. They can never reprint booster boxes again. Interesting. But they said it couldn't happen anymore. They said there were no more reprints coming. They said I was safe. It could never go down. Congratulations, little Timmy Wimmy. You were lied to. You were hyper shilled by all the Pokemon investors and YouTubers out there making content with all their little graphs, all their little charts. Oh, this might be the last time we ever get a prismatic reprint. This might be the last time if you don't buy now. Shout out the Big V Vapor Self, Vapor Shill, as I like to call him, the GOAT. Keep stacking those prismatic regular ETBs, buddy. Let's stick to booster boxes, though. Everyone's favorite, destined rivals. Where are the reprints? Apparently they're never coming. You have to buy a booster box that's been out for, I think it's been a year and a day. It's officially 1 year old. It can never get reprinted. Everyone says they can't reprint it. There's no ability for them to reprint. Better buy now. Better buy a 1 year old product over $600. There's no volatility in that at all. Just, you're good. Just do it and you'll be fine. If you don't do it, you're going to miss out. And that apparently is the worst thing in the world, is missing out. So you better just go back up the truck right now and buy all the DR you can get. Because what's out there on the market right now is surely the only product that will ever get put to market. But Pokemon is the biggest IP in the world. They're the smartest company to ever exist. They know what they're doing. I swear they know what they're doing. Again, whatever they do, you do not have control over. Stop thinking you have control. You have none. Get comfortable with not having control. That's the only way you're going to survive. Be able to exhibit patience. when you admit you have no control, no power, a lot of the anxiety evaporates immediately. If you can focus on only the things that you can control, you will be better off than 99% of all the other investors in this hobby.
Realized I got into a market that I was not fully educated and really just got too cocky in the magic world. And I thought I was Mr. Cool, wanted to be the cool kids. And I kind of felt like I got hosed and burned. And I just thought, well, maybe it's a bad set. So fast forward years later, I still have maybe 200-300 of that 800 boxes left. Over time, I ended up selling some to patrons by request, by the case only. At the low, I was selling Roaring Skies for I think $65 or $69 a box, giggity. And just kind of taking a 10-15% loss just to move some product, free up the money, and move it into the magic world. So that was the first big thing.
Things don't have to be exactly one-to-one to compare and contrast and reapply some things we've seen play out in history, listening to others who were there when it actually happened, and applying it to today's circumstances. Think about the prices Rudy was just talking about. Booster boxes under $100. It's been literal years since we've seen any booster box go under $200, let alone $100. The volatility, the stakes are much higher now than they were even just 5-6 years ago. Like I was saying, going back to that analytics trends chart that showed the overall interest level in Pokemon, it's more than double than what it was back then, which means the hype is amplified. The FOMO, amplified. The prices, amplified. You know what else is amplified? The downside. And people don't want to admit it. They don't want to live. They want to live in their la la land. They want to turn their ears off. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to ruin the vibe. The amount of people that are going to end up exactly like Rudy was just saying, where they got into a market that they weren't educated about and they got rinsed, left a bad taste in their mouth, got burned. It is a scary high percentage. I was talking with some friends trying to put a percentage on this. I thought I was high at 70-75%. These guys have been around longer than I have, smarter than I am. They said, oh no, Jack, it's easily 90+%. Just think about that for a sec. Do you think you might be a part of that 90% that could potentially be a little bit uneducated, living off the vibes, the hype, the FOMO? You could absolutely have the bottom fall out from underneath you, and you are fucked.
There's a point that we all reach, and this is a very important part of the video. This is kind of what I was building towards. There's a point everybody reaches that when the investment goes south, you have to make a decision of either, is the stock going to zero? Are they going to go bankruptcy? Chapter 7 liquidation? Chapter 11 reorg? And what are they doing? What are they doing? Or does the asset have the probability or the possibility, is it have any chance of coming back in the future? And I thought to myself, look, it's Pokemon. It's like a magic box. No magic box in the history of magic after 5, 10, 15 years is actually lower than the initial price. There's not a single standard magic booster box from alpha all the way to the newest set, Core 21 boxes, which aren't even out yet for another week. There's not a single standard booster box that is less than the release day price at this point in time. And that's crazy. And I thought Pokemon was the same thing. And everybody was just like, well, Rudy, you bought XY. You bought the new stuff. It's overprinted. It's garbage. You kind of deserved it. You jumped in. You thought you were cocky. And I agreed. And as time went on, I realized that I think everybody on the internet in the comment section was right. I think, I jumped in thinking I knew what I was doing, and I walked away. Now, the only positive thing I did is I did stay the course.
I would be shocked, very, very shocked, if the majority of the people who are coming in new, buying up all the hyper-modern product, all the stuff that's still getting reprinted, all the stuff still coming to the market at inflated, unnatural prices, actually end up doing what Rudy says. Stay the course. The more time goes on and the more FOMO and hyper shilling that actually happens makes me more confident, actually, that people will not be able to exhibit behavior that Rudy is talking about, where you are able to stay the course, make a decision based, and have some humility. Admit that you were wrong. You don't know everything. It's okay. Will you actually be able to do it? I'm not saying it's going to be an easy decision or an easy realization that you are going to be forced to deal with. All I am saying is the hyper confidence that is being exhibited right now is making for some very, very, very delusional thoughts, trains of thoughts, approaches. Not an if, but when. When we do see things slow down, money stop flowing, music stop playing, demand dies down, supply picks up, interest falls, prices fall, panic ensues. What are you actually going to do about it? You don't have control over what's going to happen. Are you going to actually show some humility? Maybe look in the mirror, do some self-reflection, think, maybe I should have done a little bit more due diligence. Maybe I should have thought about all the actual risks that comes with buying hyper-modern product. If you want to insulate yourself a little bit from some of these retraces and down markets, you can always go back in time and buy older stuff. Granted, it's more expensive, but hyper-modern product is, in fact, the most risky investment you can make when buying Pokemon cards currently. The delusion is at an all-time high. Don't be delusional. Use your brain. Listen to others. Learn from their mistakes. That's a beauty, one of the main beauties about being a human. You get to observe from others, see their mistakes, learn from them, so you yourself do not actually have to go through it. It is possible.
Something happened and it feels off. Because to have boxes that I can't sell for $69.99 giggity shipped, and now people want to give me $200 to $250 a box 24 months later, that's a 300% return. Actually over if it's $250 a box. How do you go from $70 a box to $250? And there's actually sold listings on eBay for around that. And that's the part, everybody, that I wanted to make the follow-up on this video. And I just want people to know, I'm stopping short of calling it a bubble because I don't quite think it's a bubble. A bubble, we need a little bit more, we need to find out and let time go by to find out if it's really a bubble. As of right now, I don't think it's a bubble, but I'm very confused on what happened to the product. Now, it could end up being a bubble, and a lot of this stuff could retrace, and all of a sudden, all this product starts showing back up on the market in a year from now. I just don't know. Nobody does, but you need to be really careful if you're going to be buying these products as an investment or a long-term collectible. This is something that makes me very nervous.
The cycle is cycling. Take note. Be prepared. And please, for the love of God, stop buying regular ETBs. If you've made it this far, shout out to you. Let me know what you think below. Love to hear your thoughts. Am I an idiot? Are you an idiot? Is everyone else an idiot but us? Let me know. See you tomorrow.